Hello, everybody. I'm Sean here today. I guess as you can see, I had a little bit of bad luck with the 3DR solo drone yesterday. This is going to be a follow-up video to my Rocky Mountain crash video, as the solo drone decided to drop out of the sky after losing what seems to be connection again. This is the second time that this drone has just fallen out of the sky for really no apparent reason at all. I guess I'll give you the conditions this time. It was slightly cloudy, but pretty clear day out. Minimal wind. I put the drone into the air and was at about 115 feet, 120 feet, give or take, around that area in the air. And I was in my backyard here, and I was flying, up around that altitude, and just kind of playing around with the cable, not the cable cam, the orbit cam at first. And those specialty modes, just getting used to them. I haven't really used orbit cam a whole lot before, so I was putting it into orbit cam mode, and just letting it do its thing over top of my house here. And yeah, I did that about 3 or 4 times, and things were going pretty good. So I hit the fly button and decide I'm going to continue on flying. So I'm sitting on my front deck here, and the only thing that I can think of reason I would have lost connection is I did not have direct line of sight. Part of my house at the time would have been blocking my direct view of my solo in the air. But I've done that many times before here, and I've never had an issue. So I didn't think anything of it. And I'm also testing to see, how good of range I can get around, my house here. The only major interference that I can think of that would be on top of my house would be, we've got I guess it would be a WiMAX wireless internet antenna, since we're out here in the country and that's our only source of internet. But I haven't really gotten interference where I get a return to homes before from it. The only time I've really had RTH is when it's maxed out its the stock setting for the altitude, and then it wants to return to home. Anyways, long story short, I decided to start pushing back into my backyard, flying further west of where I was. And the drone was probably only about 100 feet, 150 feet, maybe 200 feet away from me. I would say within 100 feet range. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at my screen on my iPhone 5S, and I lost video feed. And now I've been watching some videos where, not to worry about this. Sometimes video feed will, when signal gets weak, it will cut out, and not to panic, so that's what I was doing. But then all of a sudden I hear a big just thud, whack kind of sound in the backyard, and I'm like, well, that's not good. I still don't have video feed. My video feed is frozen. So I decide to go and investigate, and this is what I found. So after reviewing the video, this is almost like the first incident where I was in the Rockies, and although I was flying on a cloudier day in the Rockies and a little bit more wind, it's like I lost all connection with the drone, and instead of returning to home like it's supposed to, the drone decided to lose communication somehow, and the engines decided to stop. You can see in the videos, the video again here, where basically the motors are going 1 second and then they just stop midair and she nosedives down and crashes. This time I was about 110 feet up in the air, so it was a pretty hard landing and no trees or anything. I'm not sure if this bounced off my shed in the backyard, but it was pretty close to it when it came crashing down. But anyways, the damage here is pretty extensive this time. I don't know if you can see right in here, the whole main body fuselage is cracked all the way to the bottom back pod here, and it's a substantial crack. Like that was a lot of force. If you see the housing tray, the inner battery tray is lifted up. The front GPS housing cover has come off, and on the one support is basically broken right in half there. And then there's another crack on the main fuselage or body here also. The camera mount on the bottom just splintered off, and luckily I was able to recover my GoPro, which is fine, and that's what I'm filming with here today. And then just one propeller chipped a blade. You know, it's at this point I spent a good 15-20 minutes yesterday on the phone with tech support guys from 3DR, and I've sent my trouble logs off to them for them to review, and the support service was really good. They were very helpful, very nice, and considerate, and understanding of the situation thus far. We'll see what they say once they go through the flight logs. But basically what they said is they have refund policy or return policy for flyaways and unmanageable drones. Basically saying I got the feeling that it was to cover kind of teething problems that may happen with drones from time to time that just don't want to act and maneuver the way they're supposed to. So I really don't know what's going to happen on their end of things at this point. Like I said, I've sent my flight logs off to them, and they have them their engineers will be going through them to decide roughly what, if there's a cause of the two crashes I've had. Me on a personal level, I don't want to say bad things about the solo drone, but it's getting to be a little bit disheartening when I can't trust if it's going to drop out of the sky. I know lots of people have had issues with GPS signal acquisition and so on. I mean, I've had that too, but today or yesterday when I was flying, I was able to get good GPS acquisition decently fast, and it was pretty stable, and it was working fine, and the drone works great. Like, I love this thing until it drops out of the sky, and that really just makes me wary at this point, because some of the places I want to film, it's if you're around people or other objects, once you put this thing in the air, you want to be confident that this isn't going to drop out of the sky onto a building or someone. I mean, as everybody knows, these things are about $1,000. In Canada here, it's about $200 more. So this is about a $1,100-$1,200 investment for me for the drone itself. not including, you know, the $500 investment I've got in a GoPro. So, you know, we're pretty much up around the $2,000 mark now on my investment into this drone, not including another $500 investment I'm going to have to make if or when the gimbal comes out. So it's not just a cheap toy, and it really, I mean, to be honest, like, the whole thing's got a good quality feel and build to it. It just, I'm not overly confident when I'm flying it anymore. And I'll be honest, I'm a new drone flyer, and it's pretty easy and simple to learn and, you know, get in the air and be able to do some awesome shots with. But the reliability issues of the GPS, and for me personally, it dropping out of the sky on me these two occasions rather than returning to home when it loses signal connection. It's quite disheartening at this point for the amount of money I've invested into my solo here. And you could spend a lot more trying to do upgrades and mods, and but then that voids your warranty and your safety cushion if you start having I'll say firmware issues. I don't know whether it's a programming issue or what's causing my drone to do what it's been doing. I'm just saying, once you get into modification of it to try and solve little gremlins here and there, then you lose out on being able to recoup any of your investment into the product. So at this point, I'm basically going to just wait and see what 3DR comes back to me and says is the cause of the issue, and I will keep you guys updated. And secondly, I'm unsure whether I will take use of the return policy if it's offered to me, and just cut my losses short and wait until the 3DR Solo is a little bit more refined and good to go for the consumer, or whether I'm going to stick with it and just power through it. I'm really unsure at this point in time, being that I've had these two incidences, and I'm lucky both times that there's nobody or nothing really underneath the drone when it comes crashing down, because that becomes an actual issue at some point. Anyways, that's it for now. I hope this has helped anyone out deciding or looking at buying a 3DR drone.